Right, welcome to Torquay Golf Club. This is Dan Hendriksen. Hello, Dan.
Hello guys, how you doing? Hello Mark.
Hello. We're AP2ing. On course, we've got dry ball data as well. Let's talk about what AP2 could do for golfers' games. Maybe one of the most popular clubs on tour has been rumoured, but that's not to be confirmed, but I think it is. Let's show you what the most popular club on tour could do for other golfers' games. Let's get stuck in.
Let's do it.
So AP2, Dan, do you want to know the guff?
I want to know the guff.
CG is progressive, long irons lower and more centered, maximum MOI, maintains preferred feel, improved turf interaction, and you've talked about that, haven't you?
We like a little bit about this, yeah.
You can see the relief, it kind of really curves in on something, doesn't it?
More so than what I've seen before on a lot of other clubs.
Absolutely. We get forged HSS body, ultra thin upper cavity, HSS face insert, co-forged high density tungsten weights and caps. So we're getting tungsten weights inserting progressive irons, so long irons I'm presuming here and here. So we're going for kind of like the max MOI in a club that can look as good as AP2. Spieth is an AP2 player.
He is.
And I've heard he's quite good.
He's not bad, is he?
Now we're going to throw ourselves right in at the deep end, and we're going to start with a 4-iron from about 210 out. Who can hit the green?
Not feeling it.
Who can hit the green? Looks. What are you thinking?
Yeah, like it. A little bit more offset than what I would like to see, and this is my slight issue with AP2. I just feel that they are slightly more offset, certainly compared to the MB and the CB, but actually better this year than they have been in the previous years, in my eye. Might not be the same for everybody, but...
So you're not keen on the offset. Upper top lines, looking down, thick, thin, medium, what are you seeing?
That's thin to medium, to me. I think
thin
that's
enough?
That's thin enough for me. I like that, yeah.
Go on then, Dan, 4-iron. I'm going to hit the 4-iron too. Oh, he started that right. You have bailed. Oh, it's at the tree.
It's out. It's back in play.
This is why I love on course. This is why I like introducing new people like Dan. Ball above his feet and on a slight downhill lie. He's seeing the water on the left. To be honest with you, I weren't even seeing it because I'm going to maybe try and I'm hitting a little fade at the minute, so it's going to kind of make me hit a straight one almost this slope. But you see what I mean? There's so many permutations. It doesn't matter where tungsten weights are put. It doesn't matter how much MOI they're saying they're putting in. And I'm not saying they aren't, because AP2 I think is probably the best looking iron for someone who wants something with some help, but the player's mind, the surroundings are always going to override what they can do. So I like the look of it down by the ball. Not being a 4-iron player, it is a little bit of offset down. I can see why that just throws you compared to some of the others, but in theory that's there to try and help a few more people. Very thin top line, which I like. Slightly longer feeling in the blade than the player iron as well, which I'm not as big a fan of. I just got to hit this green and I'm one up, aren't I? Or arguably don't hit a tree and I'm one up. I mean, that just feels lovely. So I've bailed as well, but I'm on the right of the green. So I'm always going to hope for a bit of a kick there, but I'll take that. Face, the sound, the feel, blooming lovely. I've always liked AP2, and I don't think there's many people who don't like AP2, even if they game it or not. Let's show you some of the dry ball data that me and Dan collected on his indoor custom fit bay and teaching bay. So Dan's just going to get his numbers with the AP2. If we look at my numbers AP2, so I'm carrying 1557 iron, spinning at 6.4. So what happens is that spin number is slightly less than, say, the bladed options, and I push a little bit more distance, topping out at 161 on a bigger hit with my 7-iron. Because obviously we're moving slightly further away in design, we're moving a little bit more into weights being able to be pushed off the face a fraction more, which will help drag that spin down a fraction. So AP2 for Dan, carrying 158 irons, spinning at 6.5. So the spin on that one, maybe 200 lower revs to 300 than say your bladed hittings.
And I also thought that I should, based on those numbers, I should hit this slightly further than the CB.
Yeah.
But not the case on these numbers.
Yeah.
And I hit them all really quite well, to be fair.
So we're driving down to see where they went. Interesting numbers. Spin drops off around 300 to 500 revs, which I'd expect. I quite like the spin staying up for me, but I could easily game that. Now you want to talk about that last shot, Dan? You've got unfinished business with that last shot.
I'm not happy with that last shot.
Go on.
I just I struggle with that slight offset. I know it's there to help.
Yeah.
But I just struggle to look down. When I look at that CB 4-iron, I just thought, oh, I could play this all day long.
Yeah.
This one here, ball above my feet, water down the left. I just bailed on it, and that was just a reaction of me as a player, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I struggle with that offset bit. I do like the AP2, but... Ugh.
Yeah, but I think that's a really good point, and it shows you how important it is that you go and test, because the offset doesn't do that for me. I feel like I'm overriding that all day long. Dan's bad shot is left, so he's seeing that as more left, which I understand. Which I think that just shows you, which is why I try to bring other people on like Dan for the test, is it shows you how individual it can be. Even if you're reading all the marketing stuff, if it comes down to the offset for Dan, he's not having it. Where for me, I don't actually care about that. All I care about is the fact that I'm just off the green and Dan isn't.
That's the treat. That's the treat.
All the indoor numbers in the world, all the MOI talk in the world, that's getting in your grill, isn't it? That offset.
All day long.
And it's not even low, like it's not even much.
It's not even a lot, but it's just enough for me.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a different hole, if I was off a different lie.
You might not have seen it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But just on that one shot, all above my feet, water behind my left shoulder. Struggling.
Poor guy. 7-iron, 150 or 165 yards actually, slightly downhill though.
Yeah.
Show me. Even though it's not the club I reckon I would game, AP2 I think is one of my favourite clubs in Titleist repertoire because of the reach it gets from tour player to good club player, county player to mid-handicapper and higher I've seen use it. And like I said earlier on, you've got to admire the fact that AP2 has been around for a long time. It doesn't need shifts in branding, it doesn't need massive shifts in looks, it's little tweaks left and right here and there. As fashions change, as ideas change, as technology changes, and as Titleist try to push themselves forward as a brand and what they can deliver to a player changes. But I would argue if you've got AP2s from I don't know how far back, would you see massive performance gains? I'm not sure. Would you like the kind of different compromise shapes and leading edges? Maybe. But if you're someone looking at a golf club who's not used AP2 before and you want classic looks with a lot of help for the size of the iron, you've got to be hitting AP2. Fading. Take that. We're going to do the 100-yard test again, Dan. So the wedge again looks very nice. It's a little bigger than I would want my wedge to look possibly, because I'm a bladed player. Just looks a fraction more face down there, which to me just feels a bit more aggressive as well. Not that it particularly is. So 100 yards out, which has to be a real kind of felt wedge. It's not a full wedge by any means. I'm about 120 on my wedge, so I think it was always a great way of testing these gaming clubs.
It's quite a bit uphill.
Yeah, middle of the green stuff. Who can get closest? And that's good for distance, little left.
Oh, that's pretty good though.
Caught the I can still see it.
Oh, it's dribbling back. Oh no, it's all right.
Again, feels soft, feels nice. Just a little chunkier than I'd want my wedge to be, but remember you could also take this out and start putting other specialised wedges in if you didn't want this one. What do you think? Wedge looks...
Yeah, again, starting to move into the bigger looking head, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it's not bad, you know, I could play that. I think I could play that. I think it's going to come down to feel now when I hit the shot and just get a feeling of what that's doing.
Yeah, and sometimes that can change people's opinions, as in just a few good hits with a club, you instantly go, oh, I like that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Where you might have picked it up and not like it. And there's no offset, Dan, so you'll be alright. So I don't reckon you've hit that soft enough again, have you? Oh, he's flown the green. It's a 100-yard shot.
100 yards.
You've got to take
It's
20
uphill.
yards off, bruh. Well, arguably, if you take the 4-iron one as well, that's 3 down, bruh.
3 down.
But I don't like to talk about those things. So the greens have been top dressed, but I'm landing literally pin high or bottle high. Dan has just flown the green. So even though that club does feel a little chunkier than, say, my bladed offering, I'm still able to hit that distance. I still feel like I've got control of it. AP2, I get it. It's just nice. You're having a chip down the hill, Dan?
Little chip downhill.
AP2 chip down here. This is mega tough, this shot. Oh yeah. That's redeemed it a bit. That was the wedge, so it's small enough to feel like you can open up.
I can open that up and play around with that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Where if you start going to the chunkier ones, it's going to feel like the back of the club's whacking the ground a bit.
Absolutely.
That did redeem things, but that wasn't a comp.
What I would say is on the line,
Yeah.
I was definitely more in the middle than you.
Yeah, but yeah. Well.
In the other game.
Don't turn into Lockie. No one likes to see games within games within games. They're not real. He makes them up. Put this on the demo list. It has to be tried. It's as good as anything. I really like it, and I think you can see from Dan's response, apart from him having issues with the offset, it's as solid and good looking as anything out there. Post comments down below if you owned AP2 in the past or not. Would you own it again? Are you going to try it? Hit the comments down there. Hit the thumbs up button as always. Don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. Titleist AP2.